Good morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Rabbi.
We're learning Mishnah Megillah, Parak Dalet, Chapter 4, Mishnah Aleph, Mishnah 1. Okay. HaKaryas Megillah. One who reads the Megillah. Kara Oymed v'Yoshev. You can read it standing, you can read it sitting. Whatever position you want to be in, you can be reading the Megillah in that. Kara Echad. If, let's say, one person read it, Karu Shnayim, or two people read it together. Yatzau. They have fulfilled their obligation. Now, what would be the difference between one person reading it and two people reading it? The explanation given is the following. Usually a person cannot fulfill his obligation by listening to two voices or sounds at the same time, because it is difficult to hear either one clearly. However, since people are especially fond of the Megillah reading, which is either because of the Purim miracle excites them, or it's a once-a-year thing. Since people are especially fond of the Megillah reading, they pay close attention to it and are able to hear it clearly. So therefore, even though you've got two people reading at the same time, we say that everybody still has fulfilled their obligation of hearing the Megillah through their reading. Next, Makom shenahagu levarech yavarech. In a place where the custom is to make the bracha, to make the blessing, yavarech, he makes the blessing. Sheshaloi levarech, and where the place is not to make the blessing, lo yavarech, one does not make the blessing. Now, which blessing are we talking about here? So the Bartanur explains, when we read the Megillah, there are three blessings that we make before the reading of the Megillah. After finishing the reading of the Megillah, there's another bracha, harav esrivenu. So the Mishnah here is not talking about the first three brachas. Everybody agrees everywhere those first three brachas have to be made. The bracha of Hashem Kadeshanu b'mitzvaysa v'tzivano al mikra Megillah, the bracha of Sha'as Anisim Laveisenu, and the bracha Shachiyanu. All places do that. The question is, the discussion of the Mishnah is by Harav Esrivenu, the bracha that comes afterwards, that there are places where the custom was to say it, and there are places where the custom was not to say it. And therefore we say, follow the custom of the place where you're in. Next. B'sheni u'v'chamishi u'v'shabbos b'mincha. When we read the Torah on Monday, Thursday, or on Shabbos by mincha, karibin shleisha. The practice is that we call up three people. Ein poichasin ve'ein ma'isifin. We don't do less than three, and we don't do more than three. Ve'mafterin b'navi. And we also don't do the haftarah in the books of the prophet, from the books of the prophets, as we do on Shabbos. On Shabbos, on Yontif, we read haftarah, but on Monday, Thursday, and Shabbos afternoon, we do not. Now, what's the reason why, we don't call more than three people during the week? On Shabbos, we have 7 aliyahs, actually, 8 aliyahs. You want to add more? You can add more. But when it comes to the weekday or Shabbos afternoon, then we say, nope. There we say only 3 and not more. The reason is because calling more than 3 people to the Torah would prolong the service, which would impose a burden on the congregation on Monday and Thursdays when people need to go to work. It would also impose a burden at mincha service of Shabbos, even though nobody's going to work, because that service was often delayed until shortly before nightfall, after the congregation had spent the afternoon and early evening listening to rabbis teaching Torah. Since the service began so late, the sages kept it as short as possible. Okay, tircha de tzibura, for the sake of the tzibur. So when it was going to be considered, Chachamim said, when this is going to be a burden, when this is going to be tough on the congregation, so only 3 aliyahs, and for the same reason, that's why we don't have haftarah. We don't have to have Torah on these days for the same reason. Monday and Thursday, people need to get to work. Shabbos afternoon, it's already late after learning a whole afternoon and early evening. And therefore, to make it easier on them, these were the limits that the sages put on the reading of the Torah then. Next, the one who opens and the one who concludes in the Torah, makes the bracha before and after. Now, it means like this. Originally, the practice by reading the Torah is that, yes, you had whatever number of aliyahs, right? and you'd call up a person, and that person would do the reading himself. That's how originally was. And sometimes you had a situation where only one person could read, and he got all the aliyahs. Nowadays, the practice is there's a balkaire, there's a person who does the reading, and everybody else reads along quiet. When you get your aliyah, you're supposed to read along quietly with him. Okay. Also, originally, let's say the first person would make the first bracha, the bracha before the reading of the Torah, and the last person would make the bracha for the bracha after. Wasn't each person made the brachas? The first person made his bracha. The first person made the first bracha. That went on all the readings. And then the last person made the bracha for after the reading, and that went on all the previous readings. That's how it was done. Okay? So we say, that's what it means here. The one who opens, meaning the one who says the first, gets the first aliyah, the one who starts the reading, the one who ends the reading of the Torah, those are the ones who make the bracha before and the bracha after. Now we know that the custom is not that way nowadays. And this is already brought down that this custom changed pretty early, not a long time ago. And the Bar Tanura, I'm reading from the note, says like this: after Mishnaic times, so that's how early we're going back to. It became common for people to arrive in the shul after the Torah reading had begun or to leave before it ended. Can you believe that? That's when people started either coming late to shul or leaving early. Okay? The sages were concerned that such people, not having heard both blessings, would mistakenly assume that the Torah could be read without one or the other of the blessings. If you leave early, right, then you don't know that there's a bracha after. If you come late, you don't know there's a bracha before. So therefore, for this reason, it became the practice for every person who was called to the Torah to recite both blessings, the opening blessing before his own section and the closing blessing after it. That's the background.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
That's basically what we just talked about.